So, we are back here after a few weeks of guarding my planter boxes and seeing how they're doing. But before we get into that, this here is a rain barrel. So what a rain barrel is that is a big jug that contains a lot of rainwater. So you see that this connects to the ceiling and it goes all the way down here. And see, we have this connected and we have it right over there at the planter boxes. So we'll get started on getting that to it. So Taylor, would you be the honors of turning that on? And since this is rainwater, it's there's like a certain amount of water that is in this jug, but unfortunately I do not know how many liters of rainwater are in this jug, so it's always be mindful to preserve as much water as best as possible. So we start it off. Okay, there we go. Got the water started. Guess we're gonna have to do it this way because something's going on with it, but you see here that we got some stuff growing. Basil's growing great. And so we got, see here, this is spinach that is growing beautifully. We got some marigolds blooming. Last time they weren't blooming, but now they are. We got some onions growing here too. Yeah, it's just so great to see that garden's growing wonderfully. And as always, you need to make sure it's well watered. So now to the second planter box. So we got some tomatoes growing here, you can see. This one's growing nice and tall since the last time we were here. This guy, he's growing too. Same here with the marigolds, they're growing great. Cucumber is growing wonderful. Tomatoes are starting to pop out. So it's cool to see. Cucumber is growing great. You know, for a lot of people that don't know, tomatoes, they need lots of water to grow. They just need lots and lots of water, you know, just a lot of love and care for them. But yeah, now on to these guys. So a lot of this is just from squash and zucchini. It's amazing how much they grow. So, but the downside of all of this growing so much, because you see more growing under them. So when these guys grow, it's gonna be harder for it becomes harder like for them to fight for like, you know, nutrients, soil, and room space for them to properly like grow the vegetables. So in order to fix this way, you need to get rid of some of these guys. So normally people would just take out some of these and either compost them so they are like being used and not just like throw them away and have it go to waste. But there is a church that I go to, and I just spoke to one of the gardeners, and that they would be happy to have some of the squash and zucchini starters. So I'm just working on dates for when they want me to come over and plant these guys. It's really cool to see how much this has grown, especially these guys right here. There's even more growing under them. It's just finding bewildering. But like I said earlier, it's always good to, since we're using rainwater, we have to be mindful of how much water we're using, because it has a limit, you know, because it collects water, rainwater. But there's more guys growing, in which my theory, it's more spinach, because we have onions growing. Ooh, gotta make sure that Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, nicely fresh watered plants and flowers. Yeah. It's just really cool to see. And so the cool thing about these guys is, about these edible flowers, they're self-planted. So you can see around here, if I, like, you see, like, it's always good to like just pull off the heads when they start to get like this. So simple as that. This is what you'll see. Ooh, if the camera can see this. So this is most likely the seed. So when the flower petals drop, this guy will reveal. If I can get the camera to focus correctly on it. There we go. And so to test my theory, I actually planted one of them. And yeah, so a lot of gardeners and farmers would do, especially with our garden, with the like dead leaves and stuff, in order like to keep the plant healthy, they usually just take it off. Simple as that. Making sure that nothing comes harm to the flower or plant itself.
Good job, Kelsey.
And these guys, they also, of course, attract pollinators, so they attract bees, so that's also good. And you can have this as like a salad. So you could take the flower or as a salad. So in a matter of few days, I will be coming back here and taking care of these guys, because see, they're still growing. These guys are big guys, they're still growing. There's even more guys growing under them. So I'm gonna take some squash and zucchini out of here, because obvious reasons, because if I do not take some out, then some of them are gonna die because of space, because these guys, as you can tell, like to take over, because they need lots of room to grow. So that way they can still grow and can still be useful to other people. So yeah, this is the updated of a matter of like 3 to 4 weeks since we last planted these guys. So yeah, but it's just so satisfying to see like your progress, your hard work, just showing its colors. You know what I mean? I'm like, you planted and you take care of these guys. I come here every day or every other day and just water these guys, and look how they turn out. They're turning out beautifully, and it's just so great to see a lot of this turning out great. So yeah, of course I'll be doing another updated update, but that's probably when I start picking my garden and giving it to people who need it the most. Yeah, it's just wonderful to see how much progress shows. I mean, honestly, like, few days you're not gonna see much progress unless you pick something that is a fast grower in a matter of a few days, which at the moment, at the top of my head, I cannot think of anything. But sooner or later, if you keep taking care of your plants and not overwatering them and just watering them enough every day or every other day, they will start to pop out and start to show themselves. And another thing that I learned about gardening is just talking to your plants. Yeah, call me crazy, yes, talk to the plants, yeah. It also kind of looks weird when you see somebody just crouched down talking to plants, but it actually helps out a lot. I have this friend who, when she was younger, she, I can't remember what she was growing, but she barely watered it, but she talked to it every single day, and it grew beautifully. And it grew better than her mom's plants did that year. funny because her mom told me this story, and I'm just like, wow, that shows how much if you talk to them, they grow beautifully. And so I started talking to my plants for a matter of few days, and just like encouraging them, like, come on guys, just pop out sooner or later. And they just start showing their colors, especially when these guys start going, they just keep growing. And now that I think about it, I'm like, there was a tomato growing in this one. Ah, there he is. There you are. You're growing bigger now. Much bigger. And it's starting to grow more. Look at that. It's starting to grow more. This is the bigger one. We've got to be careful. But, yeah. So I'm quite excited for those. And this one's also growing one too. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this little guy here. It's just so cool to see that things are starting to grow. And yeah. So, yeah, I hope you all have a good day. Bye-bye.